Sham. Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is your Vedic astrology coach Rajat Kapoor and welcome to my channel The Legit Astrologer. In my channel I make videos on Vedic astrology, I talk about transits. In the recent times I have started an exclusive channel in Hindi and I have started making interesting videos. You will see the link in the comment section and you're more than welcome to subscribe to my new channel. And in case you're new here on my existing channel, which continues to be in English only, you're more than welcome to subscribe. Today this video is about the great Shani or Saturn. On 28th of November, Saturn is going to move direct in the sign of Pisces, which is ruled by Jupiter. It will also be under the benefic aspect of Jupiter as it makes this direct transit. And it will stay in a direct motion till 26th of July 2026 in the sign of Pisces. At the physical level, you must read this from your ascendant sign. At the mental emotional level, you can also read this from your moon sign. Aries ascendant signs or the Aries moon signs. Saturn or Shani becomes your 10th lord and the 11th lord. Now it has an inimical relationship with your Lagna lord Mars because Saturn doesn't like Mars. He is a revenge seeker for Mars because Mars gets exalted in Capricorn, that is ruled by Saturn, and Saturn gets debilitated in the sign of Aries, which is ruled by Mars. So Mars is the one who is hammering Saturn and Saturn is the revenge seeker. Though it rules an important house, which is the 10th house of your karma, your actions, your professional commitments, professional life, your work, job, business, and the 11th lord of gains of your wider social network of material comforts. 11th house, we also see obstruction, we also see bigger enemies. You are a movable sign. Saturn also becomes Badakesh for you, or the one who rules obstacles. Whether it will give you the results of obstacles or the results of the Karam Bhav, that depends on the natal placement of Saturn. Now this Shani has already been making a transit in your 12th house. It has been going retrograde. On 28th of November, it will move in a direct motion and it will stay in this motion till end of July 2026. What you can expect for the next few months. So firstly, the theme will be very similar. Some experiences that happened in your life between April through August of 2025. You have to revisit your decisions. These decisions could be related to your work, could be related to your friends, could be related to your karmas. And you will see some similar patterns, some similar themes, but you will have a renewed sense of pace in your life. In case there have been delays that you've experienced with regards to job-related matters, things will start progressing, things will start moving. Saturn is already slow. When it goes retrograde, it is even slower. Now it will also go stationary for a few days, but gradually it is going to pick up the pace and it will be regulated. 10th lord and 11th lord making a transit into 12th house definitely is increasing your expenditure, but Saturn has an exceptional rule here. It will make you very disciplined with regards to matters of that house. So it demands discipline in your expenditure. It demands you to do some sort of budget exercise. At a karmic level, you will expense. Now expenditure is also related to your job, related to your work. So expect a lot of efforts that Saturn really expects from you. And this is something which you should not shy away from when it comes to work-related pursuits. In case you've been looking forward to making a movement abroad outside of your home country, for work pursuits, this time period could be favorable for you. He can give you results. Saturn is the Karaka of the 12th house because that is his domain. He has the expert knowledge. It is the house of expenditure, losses, your higher self-consciousness, your ability to be more self-aware. Shani is aspecting your second house by the third aspect of growth, and the 9th house by the 10th aspect. These two aspects are the aspects of growth 100%. So Shani wants you to work towards your family, towards building finances. How you would build? Firstly, you have to save, you have to cut down on your expenditure, you have to cut down on your desire and increase your spiritual practices. And Shani wants you to focus a lot in terms of growth of your dharma. 9th house is the house of dharma. Respect towards your guru, respect towards your elders, that is quite inevitable. And in case you have some foreign connection with regards to higher education pursuits, this time period can also be a little bit favorable for you. But you will have some sort of psychological fear that you're going to experience for the first few weeks, and that is something which you need to overcome. You have to watch your sleep. in case you do not get good sleep or you're facing issues there, because Saturn does create a cold tendencies with regards to its placement, you could have lethargy issues, you could feel low in terms of energy, you would start procrastinating things. So this is something which you have to overcome. Saturn also has a 7th aspect on the 6th house, which is only about 75%. So it has average or more than average desire, and it desires discipline in your daily life, in things that you do on a day-to-day basis. Channeling your desire is absolutely essential over the course of next few months, and certain devotional mantra-based remedies, spiritual sadhana is absolutely essential over the course of next few months. First, look up to respecting your elders, your gurus, your teachers, and may you follow the traditional path of Saturn. Taurus ascendant signs or the Taurus moon signs. Shani or Saturn, he becomes your 9th lord and the 10th lord. So it holds a very important lordship, being the lord of the quadrant house and also the trinal house, and that to the highest trine and the highest quadrant, which is the 9th and the 10th house. It becomes a yoga karak or the most favorable graha for you. There is a second role that Shani plays for you, because being the 9th lord, it also becomes the Badak or lord of obstacles. Whether it will give you the results of Badak or Yoga Karak, that depends on the natal placement of Saturn, how well it is connected in the chart, and of course during Gochar, what is the kind of placement that it is experiencing. It is making a long transit in your 11th house of gains, Labh Bhav, your income. Shani is your 9th lord of Dharma, Bhagya, fortune, higher spiritual education, and he is the ruler, significator of your father, your guru, your teachers. By default, you definitely have a natural karma towards respecting your elders, particularly your father and your guru. Saturn also becomes the 10th lord of your work, professions, your actions, your duty, your commitment towards your karma. What is the fulfillment, the sense of fulfillment in your life? And Shani making a transit in the 11th house. So firstly, it's a natural malefic tamasic graha. If it makes a transit in the 11th house, it mostly delivers very good results. Here, Saturn is in a very powerful yoga. We call it a Keval yoga. Now here, it is most favorable when it comes to gains of all kind, gains of your bhagya, gains related to your work, gains related to your professional endeavors. It has been going retrograde, perhaps helping you to look back, reflect in your career, and eventually help you put yourself in a better position, put yourself in a better place. So after all this reflection and hard work, and of course delays as well. Saturn is also representative of sorrow. In the 11th house, it does very well. It promotes gains, it promotes wider social network. It also brings coldness towards friends, isolation from networking, isolation from public domain. And this is something which you have to overcome, because he's your Karam Karak towards the end of the day. If you were to excel at work, if you were to excel and grow, you have to leverage the power of your network, and this is something which you must do from a karmic standpoint. Capricorn, which is the 9th house, becomes the home. Aquarius, which is the second from Capricorn. So you have to work towards your family. You have to work towards yourself as well, and of course towards others. Saturn is representative of Seva, because he is a Shudra Graha. And being Shudra, he demonstrates Seva, duty, helping others, and there's a lot of slowness in life. He's a slow learner. He doesn't like to learn in a very fast manner. Shani will be aspecting firstly your ascendant by the 3rd aspect of growth. He wants your body vitality to grow by self efforts, swabal, swadharma, and this is something which will be good for you. Delays are inevitable, because as long as it is expecting your ascendant, you have to be patient, you have to become mindful of things that yes, there will be delays, you will get your desired results, but not at the time when you want. Saturn is also aspecting the 8th house by its 10th special aspect of growth. So firstly, growth of efforts are seen in your ascendant. You will be more effort centric, and then the results that you will expect will be related to your transformation, will be associated to you overcoming adversities in life, your weaknesses in life, which is the Nij dosha that we see from the 8th house. So if you were to grow, if you were to be successful, if you were to minimize obstacles with regards to your work, you need to overcome your adversities. You also need to repay some debts that are related to your past life. These are not financial debts. These are karmic debts which we see from the 8th house. Saturn is also aspecting your 5th house with a 75% aspect, and it wants to promote discipline with regards to your future, with regards to your children, and of course your position in life as well. This is something which Saturn demands. In the 11th house, you put less efforts, you could get more results. Saturn is any which way a very good hard worker, a very good taskmaster, and it is making a transit in the karmic and of course the end of cycle, which we call Pisces, which is ruled by Jupiter. So it is achieving highest level of maturity, and it expects the same level of maturity from you as well. Demonstrate maturity in your life. That is the biggest remedy. All you need is a lot of life remedies. Mantras are not going to work. Any such prayers are not going to work. Mostly you need to look at remedies related to yourself and your life that you need to put back on track, and my best wishes to you. Gemini ascendant signs or the Gemini moon signs. Saturn making a transit in Pisces, it will go direct on 28th of November 2025, and it will stay in this motion till end of July 2026, and thereafter it will go retrograde again. Right, so it goes retrograde 3 times in its 2.5 years of transit, and this is something which is happening in the transit of Pisces. Saturn for you is your 8th lord and the 9th lord. So it becomes your Bhagyesh, but it also rules a very tricky house. It is also called Trik house in Vedic terms. Ashtam Bhav or the 8th house is the house of Ayush, longevity. It also brings suddenness in life, sudden changes, sudden ups and downs, places that are far off, across the sea, people who are from other cultures, other languages, your inner adversities and how you overcome these adversities. We call this Nijadosh. Saturn also becomes your Bhagyesh, the one who rules your fortune, long journeys, the house of your father, the house of your lineage, and Shani follows tradition, Shani follows lineage. It is a very traditional graha. This house also represents your dharma, bhagya, your higher or spiritual education. Therefore, Saturn becomes a very important and a karak graha for Gemini ascendants. It holds a friendly relationship with your Lagna Lord Mercury. Saturn's been making a transit in the 10th house. It has been going retrograde, which would have helped you to fix some fundamentals in your life, some things related to your bhagya, dharma, and of course, eventually making it even strong by giving you some life lessons. Workplace delay is inevitable in this 2.5 years of Saturn's transit. So as long as you cope up with delay, you're in a pretty good position. Otherwise, it could become mentally very cold and exhausting for you. So you will go through certain phases, right, when things are not working in your favor. Eventually, suddenly something works in your favor because it's also the 8th lord, the Ashtam Bhava lord. So suddenly you've been probably trying to sort out your work, applying for jobs, and of course trying to put your life back on track. There are delays, there are denials. Saturn is also sorrow. And of course, he wants you to overcome your sorrow through spiritual practices by having a strong mind, that is your 2nd lord, moon. And suddenly you get an opportunity, suddenly life gets back on track. There are good times, there are bad times, there are average times. And of course, all of that you will experience in this transit. Now Saturn goes direct. Firstly, the theme for work is going to be very similar between May through August of 2025. Here, Saturn is bringing some coldness, but it wants you to fix your fundamentals. He is giving you the power of labor when it comes to work in your life, which will have unlimited potential. It makes a connection with your 12th house, with your 4th house, with your 7th house. So very mixed kind of connection. 12th house, it aspects by the 3rd aspect of growth. It wants you to have some self efforts when it comes to spiritual practices, when it comes to managing your expenditure. It wants you to manage your expenditure so that he can give you more work, he can give you more labor, and this is the message of Saturn. It has a 75% aspect on your 4th house. It wants you to manage things at your home. This time period for the next 7 to 8 months, you're going to take some vital decisions related to your assets, related to your real estate, which could be pretty much favorable for you. You will also try to strike a balance between your work life and your home life. Declutter your home. One of the nicest remedies of Saturn is to keep your surroundings clean, because see, Saturn is not a very tidy graha, but it wants to be clean. Saturn is short, it wants to be tall. Saturn is poor, he wants to be rich. This is the kind of energy that Saturn represents. And at workplace, you will be probably looked upon as a cold person, but as long as you work hard, as long as you do your duties, you will get the desired results. Saturn is also going to be aspecting your 7th house by the 10th aspect of growth of your relationship, which also comes with sorrow, which comes with coldness, and that is something which you are bound to experience in this 2.5 year long transit of Saturn. As long as you continue to strengthen your Lagna Lord Mercury for your self-confidence, for Swabal and for Swadharma that is supported by Saturn, you will be in the right path. It's a karmic time for you to understand your duties and fulfill your duties. And if you do that, workplace growth is inevitable. One thing that you will exceptionally do very well is build your health and immunity over the course of next few months, bringing in a discipline in your life, being very mindful of your eating, being very mindful of your discipline and things, and of course increasing your spiritual practices as well. You can use the mantra Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya to guide you in the right direction. Cancer ascendant signs or the Cancer moon signs. Shani or Saturn, he is not a yoga karak graha for you, but he rules one quadrant house, so it becomes important. Saturn considers moon as his enemy, inimical relationship, but moon doesn't hold an enmity towards Saturn. And Chandrama is your Lagna Lord. One thing that you're bound to strengthen during this time is your Lagna Lord Moon. Because Saturn rules your Ashtam Bhava and the Saptam Bhava. Being the 7th Lord, he also becomes Marak, or he has the capacity to bring some dreadful results. Capricorn ascendants and Leo ascendants, these are two ascendants who have natural heaviness with regards to marriage, relationship, partnership, because the 7th Lord becomes Shani. For Leo, it's even more, because then Rahu also comes into play. Now, for you, he is the 7th Lord and the 8th Lord. 7th Lord is the Jaya Bhava. We see peace and war. We see your marriage, relationship. This is the house of following, those people who you follow or you like to follow you. This is also the house where we see your attitude towards the outer world of people, things and events. First house is yourself, 7th house is opposite. And if you were to move away, let's say foreign land, we also take into account 7th house in this case, because it is the opposite from the ascendant. See, Saturn gets exalted in Libra, which is the western direction. It is the natural Asta Lagna, the setting Lagna. Aries eastern direction is rising Lagna. So therefore, Saturn gets excelled or it gets exalted in adverse situations. 8th Lord, the Lord of longevity, sudden ups and downs, suddenness in your life, places that are far off, across the seas. Shani is making a transit in the 9th house. Saturn in trinal houses would only do well if you remedy Mars. The most significant remedy for Mars is to read Bhagavad Gita. Okay, because this book of knowledge is closely associated to Shri Hari, Lord Vishnu. And if you do that, Saturn works well in the most positive direction. I would say read any scripture depending on your religion. I respect all religions, depending on your religion. Whether you're a Christian, whether you're a Muslim, whether you're Hindu, whether you're Sikh. Each of the books give the same message, all right? The message around doing our duties, fulfilling our karmas. So if you read any of your ancient scriptures while making this Saturn's transit, it is going to work well. Because you need some knowledge, you need some direction of someone elder, guru, your father or some sort of father figure. So either you seek out for advice or you read some ancient scriptures that can give you good knowledge. You do some remedies related to Mars in order to channelize this Saturn appropriately. Because towards the end of the day, Mars gets exalted in the sign of Capricorn. And Saturn is going to aspect your 11th house by the 3rd aspect of growth. It is the Upachaya Bhava, Upachaya aspect. Saturn wants you to put efforts towards mending your ties, resolving conflicts with your friends, for you to become more social, for you to have a new source of income. Saturn is very cold in the 9th house, so you have to protect your dharma. You have to be very diligent about your religion, about your practices. You should not deviate from the path. And of course, you should probably donate, do some charity towards place of worship. Work towards strengthening your relationship, because this house represents the efforts that you put in your relationship, because this is third from the 7th house. This house also promotes growth of your transformation, consumption of your transformation, because this is the second from the 8th house. These two are the lordships of Saturn. Saturn is having a good aspect on your third house as well, which is mere 75%. It has more than average desire, but very heavy growth. So it desires you to continue to put efforts, the power of labor, towards your relationship, towards managing your adversities. And its 10th aspect, where the actual growth happens, is in the 6th house. Expect some good news with regards to job related matters post November, some sort of change. This can also trigger change of place. This can also help you go on a long distance journey. Maybe you're trying to settle. Any unnecessary delay, that is with regards to paperwork, now you will start things moving. This is also promoting growth of your health and well-being. That has to be prioritized over the course of next few months, and my best wishes for you. Leo ascendant signs or the Leo moon signs. The great Shani or Saturn's transit in the sign of Pisces. And what can we expect in 2026? 28th of November 2025, Saturn goes direct. It has been going retrograde for a long period of time. Now finally it moves in a direct motion, and it will stay direct till 26th of July 2026. Now you could expect similar themes in your life that was there between April through August of this year, because Saturn will be moving through 0 degrees of Pisces and gradually move forward. It will slowly pick up the pace. Saturn becomes extremely slow when it's going retrograde, which is a cause of extreme delay. Shani is your 6th lord and the 7th lord. Saturn naturally brings very heavy karmas for Leo ascendants when it comes to relationship matters. See, because firstly it rules your 7th house, which is the Jaya Bhava. That is the house of your spouse. 12th from that is the sign of Capricorn, which is the break of marriage or probably loss or some sort of distance. But 6th house rarely causes permanent separation. It can create distance at the physical level. Maybe because of job, because of work, because of something, you have to temporarily or momentarily live away. But this can never cause an end towards marriage, and I can challenge this concept. Saturn is the 6th lord of your daily routine, debts, diseases, health and well-being. It represents your vitality. It represents things that you do on a day-to-day basis. This is also the house of growth. 7th house, your partnership, business, besides marriage and of course other factors. This is the house of following, those people who you follow or those people who follow you. There is natural karma towards marriage or relationship because the co-lord becomes Rahu here. So 7th house any which way is very heavy. Shani is making a transit in the 8th house. He is the significator of the 8th house, Ayush Karak, longevity. So one thing definitely it is giving you is good sense of protection. But it will bring coldness with regards to the matters associated to this house. Maybe not very willing towards self-transformation. You will be pushed into situation. Adversities become a part of life, and you can deal with adversities by the power of labor. But Saturn is definitely giving you a great sense of protection while making a transit in the 8th house. It will bring you adversities, but it will also guide you towards the path of how you can overcome these adversities. Remember, the tunnel is dark, but there is great light towards the end of the tunnel, and you have to just move a few more kilometers. Saturn is going to be aspecting your 10th house by the 3rd aspect of growth. This growth will only happen if you put efforts. Saturn demands effort and true hard work when it comes to work related matters. This is a 100% aspect. So one thing is sure, when it goes retrograde, its 3rd and the 10th aspect will become potentially more strong. So any efforts that you put with regards to your work related matters, you will see some growth. This transit could be particularly favorable for financial growth of your spouse or your partner or the family as a whole. Saturn is also aspecting your 5th house by the 10th aspect of the kind of results you can expect with regards to this growth or the efforts. Results are quite inevitable, which indicates positional success, rise of power, autonomy, authority. Shani is the kingmaker. You must continue to remedy your Lagna Lord Surya, and Jupiter, who is the dispositor of Saturn. Jupiter is also your fifth lord. As long as you remedy either of the two grahas, you will have the most positive and good results of Saturn. Otherwise, this could become a little bit challenging in your case. Saturn is also aspecting the second house by the seventh aspect of desire, which is still 75%. Saturn wants you to work towards your family, to overcome your adversities, and try not to be secretive. Because if you be secretive, you cannot hold your secret from long time. Saturn will ensure that that comes out in the open. As long as it is in the best interest of your family. Of course, sometimes we keep our finances as secrets, which is good. So good secrets, that is absolutely fine. But something that could be detrimental towards your life, towards your relationship, you better be open, you better be very much communicative. You can use a simple Guru mantra, that is Om Guruve Namah, in order to channel these energies. You could do this 12 times or 108 times every day, and may you have a good transit of Saturn. Virgo ascendant signs or the Virgo moon signs. The great Saturn, Shani. I have shared some very interesting insights in the beginning of my video. In the first few minutes, you must watch it. For you, Shani becomes the fifth lord and the sixth lord. So being the fifth lord, it is one of the most important planets for you. I always say that fifth lord has a great capacity to solve a number of things in our life with regards to future matters. If we are concerned about our future, if we are concerned what's going to happen tomorrow, what's going to happen in the next few weeks, next few months, we must look at the fifth lord and remedy the fifth lord. Fifth house is the house of your children. Therefore, we see future from this house. It is Purva Punya, which means certain deeds from the past. Yes, that's there. It is connected to the ninth house. But what is the kind of result that you could expect with regards to your future? How it will fructify into your future. That is why we call it Purva Punya. Saturn becomes your Mantresha, the one who rules mantras. Whether mantra-based remedies will work for you or not is dependent on Saturn. And this house represents positional success. This is the Rajya Bhava. With power comes corruption as well. So Saturn does have a capacity to make you corrupt. It shares a friendly relationship with your Lagna Lord Mercury. Shani also becomes the sixth lord of daily routine. Things that you do on a day-to-day basis, your debts, certain loans that you have, and your capacity to repay these loans. Your health and well-being is seen from the sixth house. This house also represents growth. Since it is second from the fifth house, Saturn's Mool mantra is quite simple. If you were to grow, you work towards your growth. Saturn's making a transit in Pisces in your seventh house. He gains directional strength or is Digbali in the seventh house. Therefore, there are blessings of Sri Hari, there are blessings of Lord Vishnu during this time. Saturn's extremely favorable, extremely powerful in the seventh house because he likes to rise in the western direction. Therefore, Shani is a night strong planet. See, I'm giving you so many lessons as well as we talk about transits. Saturn is going to be your fifth lord making a transit in the seventh house. So, of course, it is going to bring in beneficial results in its direct motion when it comes to relationship matter. By strengthening it, by ensuring that you are very disciplined with regards to your relationship. For those people who've been trying to plan family, trying to establish yourself in a relationship, or have been facing adverse issues when it comes to relationship matters, you will see some progress, you will see some movement as long as you are committed to it. Saturn is also going to bring in sorrow, but he wants you to overcome that sorrow for greater good so that you can strengthen what you have. You must value what you have today for a better tomorrow when it comes to relationship, and this is the biggest lesson that Saturn is giving you. Saturn will have a third aspect on your ninth house, which is the aspect of growth. Now, being the sixth lord, it is very particular when it comes to daily routine things that you do on a day-to-day basis. You could expect growth in your business. You could expect growth in terms of your bhagya, as long as you put efforts to be very diligent about your religious practices, about your higher education, about your knowledge. If you put efforts with regards to knowledge, you will see positive results in terms of your work, in terms of your business, in terms of your health, and in terms of your relationship. Saturn will also have a seventh aspect on your Lagna, which brings delays. Delays are inevitable. So you must cope up with any kind of delay or similar energies. This is going to be the theme. As long as you remain patient, you remain persistent, and of course you be resilient about the fact, you can overcome these adversities. This aspect is about 75%, so it has more than average desire. And it wants you to bring in a sense of discipline in your life. Discipline is the key word associated to Saturn, and so is work. Hard work is something that we do, but he just wants you to do your work without thinking about the results. Results he is going to give you. Saturn is also having a 10th aspect on your 4th house. So any growth that you could expect could be related to your home matters. Your assets are expected to grow. Your comforts expected to grow. You must focus on your personal interest. You must prioritize your personal well-being. You must focus on mindfulness if you were to have a healthy life. Health should be your number one priority over the course of next few months. Then is relationship, and of course then is work, and everything else will be sorted out because it is moving in a very good direction. It is in great strength, and now you will also start looking towards things in a more positive manner because it will minimize delay and it will slowly, gradually make you work in a faster pace. Libra ascendant signs or the Libra moon signs. The great Shani or Saturn's transit in the sign of Pisces and now going direct. How this is going to have an impact in the year 2026 for you and also towards the end of the year 2025. Shani is a Yogakara Graha for you, or the most favorable planet, because he becomes the ruler of one quadrant house and one trinal house, and he rules one of the most important bhavas or houses of the chart, which is the 5th house. Saturn becomes your 4th lord. He is the Sukhesh, and the 5th lord, he is also the Mantresh, or the ruler of the Mantra Bhava, or the ruler of Putra Bhava, your children. 4th lord rules your happy space, your comfort space, your safety, security. This is your homeland, where you feel most happy, where you feel most protected, where of course you're very diligent about your home related things, about your mother. This house represents your mother, your comfort space. Also the 5th lord of your future, children, positional success, mantras, and whether mantras will work for you or not. This is the house of creativity. How can you be creative in all the pursuits? And Saturn demands hard work as well, besides being creative. Shani is making this long transit in the sign of Pisces in your 6th house. It has been going retrograde. It has been making you think, sometimes worry about your future, sometimes be concerned about it, and of course sometimes bringing in ambiguity or uncertainty with regards to future matters. But it is solving a lot of things with regards to your daily routine. It is helping you bring in discipline in your daily life. It is helping you to focus a lot on your health well-being. Saturn's inherent nature is a very cold planet. 6th house represents your digestive system. So one thing which I highly advise you, highly recommend you throughout the transit of Saturn, avoid cold foods, avoid stale food, always go for fresh, well cooked, well prepared, and of course mostly home cooked food is something which I will advise, because you're susceptible to having some digestive issues because of your eating habits, because of things that you do on a day-to-day basis. If you do not bring discipline here, you will have health issues. Otherwise your health is going to be on the prime, and of course you could expect breakthrough results when it comes to overcoming any illness, overcoming any health related matters if you control your food or your eating habits. Shani being the 4th and the 5th lord, making a transit in the 6th house of growth, of overcoming enemies. He shares a friendly relationship with Venus. Venus and Saturn are best of friends, but they have very different temperaments. Therefore, Saturn-Venus, Venus-Saturn periods are the most unpredictable periods of someone's life. Life can go in a completely different direction in these periods. Saturn does very well in the 6th house. This is his domain. He is the Karak or the significator of this house. He is friends with Venus. Therefore, it will help you overcome enemies by your hard work, by your discipline, by your knowledge. You might be cold towards your enemies as well. The best advice the Saturn gives you here is ignore. If you ignore, they will do no harm. And of course, you will be able to overcome them. Just focus on your karmas, just focus on your duties diligently. This could bring some positive developments with regards to job related growth, with regards to job change. That could be expected because the Lord of Future is making a transit in the 6th house, which represents your job or the work that you do on a day-to-day basis. Now Shani is aspecting the 8th house by the 3rd aspect of desire. You must put efforts if you were to transform, if you were to, let's say, lose weight, improve your habits, bring a change in your lifestyle. This transit is exceptionally good for you if you were to bring a complete change in your lifestyle, because it promotes positivity in terms of your daily routine. Then you have to do something about it. You have to put efforts in terms of transformation of your body, your health, your vitality, and most importantly of your mindset, what you think about your future. Saturn is also aspecting the 12th house by the 7th aspect of desire, where it promotes spiritual practices, spiritual sadhana. A Shadakshari Vishnu mantra will be very good for you, which is Om Vishnave Namah. You can do this 108 times, and this way you will be able to channel these energies in the most appropriate manner. Saturn is also aspecting Sagittarius, which is the 3rd house by the 10th aspect of growth, and what are the kind of results that you could expect with regards to this growth. And this is efforts. You will get more opportunities to put even more efforts. Be prepared, be ready for change, be ready for shift of a residence. This time period, next 7 to 8 months, you do have a greater possibility to move houses, move places, or go on journeys, and my best wishes to you. Scorpio ascendant signs or the Scorpio moon signs. Shani or great Saturn and its transit in the sign of Pisces, the beautiful transit in the sign of Pisces, where Saturn attains the most maturity, because the last sign of the natural zodiac belt. On 20th of November, it goes direct. For a few days, it will also be stationary. Maybe I'll make a separate video on that. And it will stay in a direct motion till 26th of July 2026. So the end of 2025 and nearly first half of 2026, what you would expect with regards to Saturn's transit. Shani is your 3rd and the 4th lord. I would say Saturn is more of a neutral graha for Scorpio ascendants, but he shares an inimical relationship with your Lagna lord Mars. The remedy for you comes from Mars. So without doubt, something that I'm giving you in the very beginning, please read Bhagavad Gita or any similar scriptures based on your religion, based on your belief system. This is the ideal remedy for you. In case you've not been able to do so, prioritize. When Saturn moves direct, chances are very high for you to get into similar practices, mantra sadhana, and of course, certain dharmic discipline or religion related discipline is something which will come in your life in the most appropriate manner. Also take this opportunity to visit some shrines, some places of worship based on your belief system, and most importantly from a remedial point of view, make some donations and help in some construction related work when it comes to any places of worship, whether it's a temple, it's a mosque, a gurudwara or a church. You must do that. Saturn is the 3rd lord of your efforts, change, your siblings, particularly the younger co-borns, your efforts, journeys. This is the Upachaya Bhava, which represents growth. He's also the 4th lord of your Sukh Bhava, the happy space, your comfort space, your home, mother, your homeland, where you feel most happy, most protected, most comfortable, and absolutely at ease. He rules your assets, your possessions. Saturn's transit in the 5th house gives mixed results. Being the quadrant lord in the trinal house, it is giving a Raj Yoga in transit. But while it is retrograde, it would have put you out of comfort zone, maybe helped you make some decisions with regards to your assets, home, and of course some ways of gains as well. If there were issues with regards to your income, it would have supported 100% to solve these issues and create a source of income. Now it is going to go direct. While going direct, it will make you very future focused, future oriented when it comes to growth, when it comes to things related to possession success. Momentarily, you could have some issues with authority, you could have some issues with your bosses, but you will get great support of your team members, of people who work for you. Respect them, do something good for them. If you give them, they're going to give you the best results. Saturn will have a 3rd aspect on your 7th house. Saturn demands efforts with regards to relationship. If you were to protect your relationship, you need to put efforts. Change is also indicated. You can go through some change with regards to your business decisions, some change with regards to relationship matter. And you will be less vocal when it comes to relationship matter. This could have a positive as well as a negative effect in terms of your harmony and relationship. Saturn is also going to have a 7th aspect on your 11th house, which is mere 75%. However, Saturn does promote some desire towards gains, some desire towards income, some desire towards material comfort, but there is no shortcut towards this. You have to work your way hard, you have to be future focused, and most importantly, you have to continue to remedy your ascendant Lord Mars or your 5th Lord Jupiter, because Jupiter is the dispositor of Saturn. Look up to either of these two grahas to make the most of this transit. Saturn will also be aspecting your 2nd house by the 10th aspect of growth and the kind of results that you could expect with regards to growth. This is supporting finances. This is supporting some sort of discipline within family. You do have some karmas. There could be some coldness or similar situation when it comes to family matters. You could probably step away from the situation, or you might have some distance at the physical level with your family, with your children. Now, this could be a little bit difficult time for you as well emotionally, and as long as you strengthen your 9th Lord Moon from an emotional point of view, you will be in the best of spirits and you will be able to very well manage this situation in your life. Sagittarius ascendant signs or the Sagittarius moon signs. Saturn's transit in the sign of Pisces. Your Lagna is ruled by Jupiter. Saturn and Jupiter share a very respectful relationship because both of them are very mature grahas. They are the natural rulers of the 4 Purusharthas, the Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, which is the natural 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th houses of the zodiac belt. Shani has already been making a transit in your 4th house, which is indicative of ensuring that it makes you step out of your comfort zone. Now on 28th of November, Saturn is going to go direct for the next few months till end of July 2026. What you could expect in this direct motion of Saturn, where its 3rd and the 10th aspect will be particularly strong. It will be 100%. And this aspect is the aspect of growth. It is the Upachaya aspect. I have given some very interesting insights in the beginning of my video, which you must watch for your own learning as well as growth. Shani becomes your 2nd Lord and the 10th Lord. 2nd house is the house of Capricorn, the sign of Capricorn, which becomes its own sign, home, and 3rd house is the sign of Aquarius, which is its office space. So any efforts that you put from a karmic standpoint, natural standpoint, these efforts should be done to support your family. These efforts should have a direct association with your finances and with the kind of food that you want to eat. So if you channel and condition your mind in an appropriate way, and this is a life remedy that I am giving you, if you try to psychologically work on yourself in the same manner, you will have very limited Saturn related issues or problems or concerns. Being the 2nd Lord, he rules your family, your Kutumb Bhava, your speech, your Dhan Bhava or the accumulation. Saturn is also the 3rd Lord of your efforts, change. We see your siblings, particularly the younger co-borns from the 3rd house. He is the ruler of your efforts. Journeys are seen from the 3rd house. Guru's Upadesha is seen from the 3rd house. The message, blessings, teachings of your mentor or someone who you look up to. 4th house is the house of happiness, Sukh Bhava, your comfort space, your possessions, your assets, where Saturn is making a transit. It does bring some cold tendencies when it comes to home related matters. It brings some isolation here to make you move away from the homeland. So this transit for the next, of course, the overall period of 2.5 years is very supportive to make a move from your home country outside of where you are or bringing a shift in your residence, because he's the 3rd Lord of journeys making a transit in the 4th house in the watery sign of Pisces. Here Saturn is also in a Dhan Yoga because he's the 2nd Lord making a transit in the 4th house, promoting financial growth, prosperity at home. As long as you declutter your home, one of the best remedies to counter Saturn is, because Saturn is representative of dirty places, you have to keep your house clean. You have to do it yourself. That is the best remedy that you can have, is to declutter. And in case you have not been able to do, make the most of the direct energies of Saturn, because it is going to reduce procrastination and bring in some pace, some momentum in your home life. Saturn also supports mindfulness, So bring in some discipline in yoga, sadhana or similar activities or exercises at home. He's aspecting your 6th house by the 3rd aspect of growth. Growth, or rather the efforts that you need to put, should be related to your job, should be related to your health and well-being. Your health has to be number one priority. You could expect delays because Saturn is also aspecting your Lagna by the 10th aspect of what results could you expect from this growth. So see, efforts are in terms of your job, in terms of your daily routine, in terms of things that you do on a day-to-day basis, and in terms of those things which support your health and well-being. The 10th aspect is on your ascendant. Expect delays but not denial. This is good news for you. But at the same time, Saturn wants you to outgrow yourself when it comes to discipline related matters. You have to become the best version of yourself in this transit. This is the key message and something that you were to do. In order to become that best version, you have to step out of your comfort zone, you have to try new things, you have to do something, take up some roles or projects that you've never done before. And this is the desire of Saturn. It is 75%, but it is above average desire, which is the 7th aspect on your 10th house, which promotes hard work at work and taking up new assignments, something that you've never done before. Continue to remedy your Lagna Lord and the 4th Lord Jupiter throughout this transit in order to get optimum results. Otherwise, you will feel uncomfortable and not at ease during this time. Capricorn ascendant signs or the Capricorn moon signs. Shani, the great Saturn, becomes your Lagna Lord and also the ruler of the 2nd house. So it plays a very important role in yourself and family related matters and also in your finances. Saturn's long transit in the sign of Pisces. Now it will move in a direct motion on 28th of November. Before that, it will also go stationary. I'll make a separate video on that. In the beginning of my video, I've shared some very interesting insights that you must watch. Saturn is going to stay in this motion till end of July 2026. So here you are going to witness, experience certain patterns, themes very similar to some events between April through August in your life. And you will get an opportunity to revisit those events and take some corrective steps, corrective actions. You would see some progress if there was a denial or a delay about something, a task, project, job, work. These things will reappear. You will live similar patterns. Saturn's transit is most important for you regardless of your dasha, antardasha. Since he is your Lagna Lord, you will always have some effects. Now, I've given a simple message that Capricorn is the own house of Saturn. Aquarius is Mool Trikon, which is the office space. So from a karmic level, your work should be towards your family. Whatever work you do, job, business or your duty, your motto, your intent should be that you're working towards your family, towards ensuring that everyone eats their food, ensuring that everyone lives good life. And if you have this kind of thinking and if you adapt yourself, you will have very minimum detrimental or bad effects of Saturn. He is the ruler of yourself, your vitality, your immunity, who you are. This is where the Dhi sits, your conscious brain. Also the 2nd Lord of Dhan Bhava, your financial accumulation and accumulation of all kinds. He is the ruler of your speech, your consumption, what you eat, and most importantly, those people who you would like to protect. Saturn is making a transit in the 3rd house in the sign of Pisces. Saturn does well in the 3rd house because he is a natural malefic graha and this is an Upachaya Bhava. However, he does exceptionally well when you get some Guru Upadesha, blessings, message of your mentor, your Guru or your ideal or your idol. Otherwise, it could cause some sort of obstruction when it is making a transit in the 3rd house or if it is placed in the 3rd house because you somehow lack direction in life. Now, Saturn being your Lagna Lord, making a transit in the 3rd house promotes effort. Any efforts that you put with regards to yourself, your finances, your family, and of course your income, you are likely to see certain results. This transit can also trigger a change of place, either change of residence or a movement. This time period will be very favorable for you to undertake journeys, go on journeys, and if this journey is for spiritual pursuit, then it could be exceptionally well for you. Saturn's 3rd aspect will fall on the 5th house. This is the aspect of growth, Growth through effort. So your efforts should be very much future focused, future oriented. You will have to put extra efforts towards your children. In case you have children, you definitely have some karma towards that. You could expect free flow of communication, and at the same time you might become very disciplined towards your children as well, so be cautious as well. Saturn's 7th aspect of desire is going to be on the 9th house. This aspect is only about 75%, but this is above average aspect. Saturn does have a good amount of desire. However, this could cause some sort of obstruction with regards to your dharmic practices, with regards to your religion. You would want to be more liberal, but at the same time I would advise you to be the protector of your dharma. Continue to strengthen your dharma. You would be less reliant on fortune, but you need to more rely on the free will. Take decisions in your own hands, be very independent mindset. This is something which Saturn promotes, but take some guidance. Take guidance of a trusted person, trusted advisor, trusted coach, mentor, guru, whatever you may want to call this person. Saturn's 10th aspect will fall on your 12th house, where the growth is really happening. This is with regards to your spiritual practices. Your expenditure is likely to grow over the course of next few months. As long as you're not being impulsive about it, it is good for you. Please do some budget exercise in order to protect yourself. And this time period is exceptionally well to leverage the power of your labor in your own self-awareness. So you will be more aware about yourself. See, Saturn promotes growth when it is in the 3rd house, being your Lagna Lord and the 2nd Lord. But one thing is there, please take the necessary advice and at the same time go on some spiritual travel, and my best wishes for you. Aquarius ascendant signs or the Aquarius moon signs. Saturn's transit in the sign of Pisces, and now it is going to go in a direct motion between 28th of November 2025 till 26th of July 2026. Shani is your Lagna Lord. He is the Lagnesha. He rules yourself, your body, your vitality, your immunity, who you are. This is where your dhi sits, or the conscious brain, your conscious thinking, your intelligence, knowledge. If we were to attain higher education, become more intelligent, our IQ is seen from the Lagna first, and of course then the other houses matter. Saturn is also the 12th Lord of your higher self-consciousness, your expenditure, losses that you incur, your ability to help others, and your ability to be more self-aware. This is also about your past. This is some things which you've probably undone for a better future. Now, Saturn's moving in the sign of Pisces, which is happening in your 2nd house. It will go on a direct motion. All the while moving in a retrograde motion, it has brought in some unfulfilled purpose related to yourself. You've done a lot of self-reflection, you've faced a lot of delays. You have brought your lifestyle back on track. In case you didn't, you still have some more days, of course, to bring your lifestyle back on track. Shani firstly brings some cold energies with regards to these matters. So it wants you to refocus on your finances, on your families. Overcome these cold energies, overcome your own sorrow by the virtue of your hard work. See, Lagna Lord in the 2nd house is also a Dhan Yoga in transit, but he also rules your expenditure. So this is increasing your expenditure. You will consciously put efforts to reduce your expenditure, because this is the 3rd from the 12th house, and this is the direction of life and what you should follow. As long as you're not impulsive in this area, it will be good for you. Shani is giving you the Dhan Yoga. It will improve your finances when it wants to improve, not when you want it to be improved. It will give you wealth. That is inevitable during this 2.5-year cycle of Saturn. As long as you are diligent about things, as long as you are doing your duties in the most karmic manner, as long as you do not have any desires or expectations in terms of return, what you want to have, you would be good. Be cautious while talking to others. Your speech could develop cold tendencies, especially when it makes a direct transit. As long as you're being respectful to other people, you might appear to be cold to other people. But this time period, you might end some relationships, you might end some ties for greater good. You will step away from toxic people. you will embrace positivity, and you would like to be connected with happy people, and this should be your aim or motto in life. Shani is aspecting your 4th house by the 3rd aspect of growth. Growth related to efforts. You have to put in efforts with regards to resolving things or matters related to your home. There could also be a change of residence, shift or a movement that is most likely within the next 8 to 9 months, and that is something which you could expect. It could be a good movement for you. Shani is also aspecting your 8th house by the 7th aspect of desire. Though Shani has above average desire, it continues to desire personal transformation. Continue your disciplined lifestyle, continue to be very focused, diligent about your eating habits, avoid cold food, avoid processed food to the great extent that you can, otherwise you will have health related issues. But if you take care of your food, if you take care of your gut and related things, you will be in the best of health, you will be in your prime. Saturn is also aspecting the 11th house by the 10th special aspect, which is the aspect of the results that you can expect by the virtue of this growth. See, Saturn loves growth, it wants to grow, and that is why it has these aspects, and of course it is helping you to create a secondary source of income by Swabal and Swadharma, which is the independent thinking, independent decision making and independent actions. By the virtue of that, you do have an opportunity to create a secondary source of income, to bring in discipline in your social life, be connected with your friends, but limit your connections. This is a good message that Saturn is bringing in. If you were to foster your growth, you must work towards it. You must work very hard, and at the same time, your objective is to feed your family, to work towards your family. Mantra based remedies will work very good for you because Saturn is making a transit in the house of Vani. Any mantras related to Buddha, who is your 5th lord, or Shukra, who is your 9th lord, will be absolutely beneficial for you. Pisces ascendant signs or the Pisces moon signs. Shani's transit in the sign of Pisces, which is happening in your Lagna, this long transit, and now Saturn is going to move in a direct motion. End of the retrograde season of Saturn, moving in a direct motion on 28th of November, and it will stay direct till end of July 2026. Saturn's transit is always long. So firstly, with regards to matters related to yourself, because Saturn is making a transit in the ascendant, which represents yourself. This is your Lagna, your body, your vitality, your knowledge, your decision makings, things that are very personal to you, that are closely associated to you. You will have similar themes where you are involved as an individual, as an independent person, with regards to some important events that you have to look back between April through July, August of 2025, and you will revisit those decisions. You will relive certain similar patterns or themes of life. Shani becomes your 11th and the 12th lord. It shares a friendly relationship with your Lagna lord Jupiter. The best remedy for you through this transit comes from Jupiter and Sun. Jupiter, because he is the dispositor, ruler of the sign of Pisces, your Lagna lord. Sun because Saturn is Maran Karak in the Lagna, in the ascendant. It is a death-like position where it is losing its significance. And Surya is the Karaka of the Lagna. So if you were to channel Shani in the most appropriate direction, you must look up to Sun. You must use mantras related to Sun and offer water to the Sun first thing in the day, each and every day, in a very consistent and a diligent manner. Being the 11th lord, it rules your gains, your wider social network. It also rules bigger enemies because 11th house is the 6th from the 6th house. He is also the 12th lord of your losses, expenditure, your higher self-consciousness, your ability to be more self-aware, and your habits in terms of giving others or helping others. Donations are also seen from the 12th house from a karmic standpoint. Saturn slows everything down when it is making a transit in the ascendant. Moreover, when it loses significance, it doesn't work very well for us to be very hardworking. It will push us to things. You have to bring in discipline, and that's a very good quality that you will experience during this transit, is to instill discipline in your personal life. For physical transformation, it is the best time that you can live in, because if you cannot have transformation during this time, then of course it becomes very difficult for you in all matters of life. as long as you cope up with delays, whether it is delay related to travel, whether it's delay related to personal life, delays related to relationship matters, related to work. That is the core theme of life, Shanai Shanai. You have to slow down, take a step back, reflect, and of course, take the necessary steps forward. Shani is aspecting your third house by the third aspect of growth. Growth of your efforts. Please do not shy away from putting efforts if you're not getting results, because Saturn is going to give you the desired results, but when it wants, not when you want. It definitely promotes a lot of growth, growth of your desire, growth of your work, growth of your job related matters when it is making a transit in the Lagna, because he is the kingmaker. Condition, if you continue to strengthen and remedy Surya to channel this Saturn in the most appropriate manner. Saturn is also aspecting your 7th house by the 7th aspect of desire. It is an above average aspect of Saturn, and it desires you to bring in a sense of discipline and diligent duty. That is the kind of attitude which you should have with regards to your relationship, with regards to your business, with regards to agreements. You will sign new agreements, you will get into new contracts. You will also be very focused about your health and well-being at the same time. You will be very diligent in your daily practices. Saturn is also aspecting your 10th house by the 10th aspect of growth, where you are likely to see results with regards to what house will experience growth. That is the 10th house. So you would expect workplace related change. Similar themes between April through August. Something that didn't work, if it was related to work, now you will see some movement. Now you're going to see some development. But Saturn's motto is, as long as you work towards your duties, your tradition. It's a very traditional graha. So of course, it gives you that traditional capabilities as well while making a transit in the ascendant. You might sound too mature to people. You might sound too cold to people. But are you taking the right decision, right steps or not? Please do not have self-doubt, because self-doubt has no scope. You need to continue to build your self-esteem. You need to continue to build your self-identity. This is the big message of Saturn. Continue to remedy Jupiter and continue to remedy Sun, and my best wishes for you. So friends, this was a detailed video on Saturn's direct transit and how it is going to have an impact on all 12 ascendant or the moon signs in the year 2026. I hope and believe Saturn's transit in the sign of Pisces helps us to fix our fundamentals and also supports us to support others, to help others, increases our devotional capacity, and at the same time promotes internal as well as external transformation. Please stay tuned for more interesting videos with regards to 2026 predictions for all ascendants. Thank you very much. God bless you all.